what changes were made to the image to repair / restore it to the after version?
They changed like the color.
Okay, awesome. So they changed the color. And how did they change it? One of them is in color, I see in the chat. Good. What else do we notice?
I guess the size is kind of a little bit bigger.
Okay, so it looks like the size is a little bit bigger in the after version.
I think they got rid of a lot of the, I guess, tarnished parts, like around the edges.
Okay, awesome. So they got rid of the damage around the edges. Perfect. Image is repaired since the first picture is like broken. Right, so you see this like crack or like broken fold in the middle. They got rid of that. Okay, well, if you still want to respond, you could write in the chat. It's nice to hear from you guys when you do that, or unmute yourselves. So this is what we're going to be doing for our next project. So we're going to be using Photoshop to repair and restore a photograph. And for this project, I really love when students are able to do like an old family photo. So you could always ask family members if there's anything that you have. It's a little bit harder right now because I know you can't bring the photo in to me to scan it or anything. But that is an option if that's something that you have, and it's a really nice gift to give to somebody to restore an old photograph. So we can certainly do that, or you can work up with the photo that I have. All right, so what you guys are going to do is to repair damage to one photo, and you can either do the Abraham Lincoln photo, which is the one I'll give to you guys and do an example with today, or a baby photo or like family old photograph. What you're going to do is using restorative Photoshop tools, you're going to repair the image. And then you're going to also utilize your knowledge of Photoshop tools and layers to develop transparent colors on labeled layers and to restore the color to black and white images. So if the family photo that you have isn't in black and white, what we do is we change it back into black and white and try to fix the color. So what the overall enduring understanding is that designers have to often prepare and restore images for print, exhibitions, the web. Also, if you think about like somebody who works in like a professional photography studio or is a photographer, this is something that you have to do often, like whether something may be damaged, one of your photographs, or if you take a picture and there might be something on your lens, this is something that you have to do. So just to let you guys know, the first objective we're going to be focusing on in this lesson, we are going to do a second lesson where we really zoom in on the colors and the layers next week. I don't want to overwhelm, so I'm just going to focus on the first step this week. So what you guys do is repair an old image that needs restoration, and this includes rotating, straightening, cropping, colorizing, and fixing any damage in the photograph. So these are just some examples you guys can see of what this ends up looking like. And you don't have the ability to get a photo of your own, you're just going to do the one that I provided to you. It's actually a good one to fix because it has a lot of problems with it, and it's easy if you see me do the example, and you can do it yourself. So how do I remove unwanted objects? One second. Okay, how do I remove unwanted objects and text? So from an image. So what we do is we use a few different tools. Two of the tools that I love to use are the clone stamp tool and the content aware fill tool. So I'm going to go over these with you guys and show you how they work. You can see a little demonstration in the GIF on the screen. The clone stamp tool, the way it works is you move your mouse to the area that you want to duplicate. So for this, the person is moving their, I don't know if you can see in the GIF, there's a little cross on the left side of the circle for the clone stamp. What they do is they pick a source point by alt clicking, and then go over to the area that they want to fix and click and drag. So what it does is it creates an exact duplicate or copy over the area that you want to fix. And you will see the pixels from the area that you selected, your target area, replacing where you're brushing. So content aware fill is great if there's like a large area of background behind an image, like see the windmill, how it's just like a clear sky behind it. If things get a little more complicated, it doesn't work that well, but this is something that you guys can try using. So what you do is you select the area. I use the lasso tool, like in the GIF here, and you right click the area that you selected and you select fill, and then apply the selected, you select the option called content aware fill. I'm going to demonstrate this for you guys so you can see what it looks like, but just to kind of go over the tools with you. And remember that the toolbar is, we find the toolbar in Photoshop in the left side of the screen. So it's the bar on the left that has all of the little icons on it and the tools. So that's going to be where we're focusing most of our work today. Okay, so this is the image that you guys get, and we're going to go over how to fix it today. And while I'm doing this demo, you guys can just watch and ask questions. And then when we're done with the lesson, I'll go over the criteria for the first step, and then you can work on it for the rest of the week. And the next week we'll do the second step. So it's a lot of information. So I just want you to be able to watch first. And if you do have questions as they come up, you can unmute yourselves or go in the chat. Just let me know, and I'll get started going over these tools. So first thing you're going to notice is it's upside down. So we're going to fix that. Okay. And just let me know if you guys have any questions. All right, so can you see my Photoshop screen?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so I've opened my image in Photoshop, and just remember, you guys, the way we open it: File, Open, and select the picture that you need and open it. So I've already got it open, so it's perfect. Okay, so first thing I want to do is rotate, crop it, and straighten it. So I'm going to use the crop tool, which is here on the left. So on my toolbar, I'm going to locate the crop tool, and I'm actually going to straighten it first and then crop it. So you guys see how it's tilted, and then there's like this weird green thing here. So all I have to do is go to one of the corners while I'm in the crop tool and just click and drag to straighten it out. Okay, that looks pretty good. And then I can let go. And now I'm going to bring in the corners. Actually, for this, I'm going to get rid of that white border because it's an old photograph. It has that white border on it. We don't need that. And I can press enter. And now I've got my image cropped and straightened. And I'm going to go back into that crop tool, and I'm just going to rotate the image all the way around. Okay, so any questions about that first step before I go on to the next? Okay.
No questions so far.
All right. If there's somebody who's unmuted, if you see anything in the chat, just let me know. Thank you. Okay, so let's take a look at what we got here. Abraham Lincoln. See these little flecks and scratches? The first thing we're going to try is a filter to get rid of dust and scratches. Now, blur, I just have to remember where it is. Okay, so we go to filter, and we go to noise, and then we go to dust and scratches. Okay, so we can see that it kind of when I put the filter in, if you guys could, hopefully you could see the difference. It kind of blurs everything a little bit. So we can adjust these settings to try to get rid of some of that. See, what happens is if you go too far, he looks like a ghost. We don't want that. So it does get rid of a little bit of the flex. Okay, I'm gonna do that. So this is the before and this is the after. So it got rid of like kind of more of the flex. I don't know if you guys can see, look at the suit. It gets rid of some of those flex on the suit. So it's a little bit easier for us to repair. And I put it on 1:16. So when you're doing this, you could do the same or adjust it a little bit more. Okay. So now I'm going to need to use the tools that I went over in my slideshow, the content aware tool and the clone stamp tool. So let's focus first on some large areas that we can try to fill. The first thing I'm going to show you guys is the lasso tool and the content aware. So lasso tool, I'm going to click it right here. And I'm going to show you guys, let's just see what happens. I'm going to select a big area and let's cross our fingers and see if it works. So what I do is I right click and then go to fill. And I'm going to do content aware fill. Okay, so what do you guys think? Does that look good?
Yes.
It hit all the buttons.
It got most of it, right? So let's keep doing some more of that. Fill. So it seems to be getting most of it except this area at the top. What do you guys think? Let's zoom out a little bit.
It's very cool.
Looks pretty good so far. I see there's kind of some blurriness, which is a little weird, but let's see if we can. It's an easy way to get rid of like large sections of damage. Okay. Now there is a shortcut for this tool as well. I have to go back to my lesson and double check. The shortcut for the fill, edit content aware fill. I know there's a shortcut. There's like thousands of shortcuts. I've been using this program for almost 10 years and I still don't remember all the shortcuts. It's definitely a challenging program. So just be easy on yourself if you're using it and you forget something, like that even happens to me. Just reach out to me and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. But for now, I'll just go fill, content aware fill. Okay. Let's try to do a little bit more down here. Any questions so far?
No.
No questions so far.
Okay, so you know what I'm gonna do? Good. I'm going to fix this side and then I'm gonna show you guys the clone stamp tool. All right, fill. Okay. This looks a little bit weird down here. Let's try to get rid of that. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys the tool called the clone stamp tool. So this clone stamp tool is right here. It's a little stamp icon. And this one can get a little bit more tricky. So I'm going to show you guys how it works. So there's a few different things you need to consider when you're doing this. The first is the brush size. So do you guys see the little circle of my brush? So the way that we adjust the brush size is up in the corner on our options bar. There's the size, so we can drag it higher. See how big it is? Or we can make it smaller. And there's a shortcut to adjusting the brush size too on your keyboard. Do you guys see the little square brackets on your keyboard? So while using the brush, this works for any brush in Photoshop. If you hold the press or hold the square brackets, you can make it smaller or larger. Okay. And what I do is I'm adjusting the brush size to what I need. You can do that up here in our options bar or just by clicking square brackets. And what I need to do is Alt click. So I hold the Alt key, and on a Mac, it's also the Option key. Click the area that I want to copy. So now I'm copying from here. Now if I go down here, see the little preview that comes up? Can you guys see the plus sign on my screen? No?
Um,
The area where I'm copying from? You don't see the plus sign when I click?
no.
Okay, so what it does when you're doing it, it does have a little plus sign that pops up.
It like flashes the plus sign.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, so that's the area that we're copying from. Do you guys see it now? So wherever that plus sign is, that's where the area is that you're copying. Okay, so I'm gonna do Alt click. I'm gonna make it a little bit smaller for this area. And I was able to get rid of that dark area on the side. And now I'm gonna actually try to copy this whole side. So I'm gonna go, let's make it a little bit bigger. Oh, it's not gonna work because of the color. Let's see how I can cover this area up. Alt click. And when you're doing this, one thing that you need to remember, this happens a lot when you first use this tool, is some people click like this, and then they'll start going like this, doing long drawing. Like, don't do that, because what happens is, remember, wherever you click, it copies from. So you have to kind of Alt click, do a few brush strokes, and then click a new source point. Alt click. So notice I do Alt click a few times.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, when you do this, when you do the Alt click and then drag, it messes up. So definitely don't do that. Just do a little bit, Alt click. Woo. Zoom in here. So you guys, also how we zoom in on a Mac is Command plus sign, and Command minus. On a Windows, it's Control plus sign. So I'm going to zoom in to get this detail, Alt click. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to show you guys is the healing brush, the spot healing brush tool. Let's get rid of this. This looks kind of weird here. Does anyone have any questions so far?
No.
Okay.
No.
Got it. So far, I know it's a lot of tools, but do you feel like you're getting an idea?
Yeah.
Well, I took a screenshot of this the PowerPoint, so.
Okay, perfect. That's a good idea. So you have it on you. Okay, so this looks a little weird here. You can keep working on this. Like, honestly, you know, you can get it as into it as you want to. But on, you could, if you want to keep going, you really can spend a lot of time on this. You could become a little obsessive over it if you're like me. So what we do is the last tool I want to show you is the spot healing brush tool. And this tool is great because all you do is just click. So what it does is it identifies an area within the brush. So see the circle that is different than the outer areas of the brush. So right now it detects that there's a white area inside towards the center of the brush. So when I click, it notices that it doesn't match the area surrounding. So it copies it. So this is going to become more complicated. So if I do things near the face, it's going to become a little bit complicated. So just make sure that you don't overdo this one. And if you do something and it looks weird, just Control Z, Command Z, and undo it. Okay, so just make sure you just remember, if you don't go too far down with a weird like error on it, because you have to, if you do want to fix it, you have to go Control Z and go all the way back. So as soon as you notice something funky, if you do an edit and it looks weird, just Control Z and get out of it. Okay, so let's go like this and get rid of some of these scratches. And does anyone remember the shortcut for adjusting my brush size? Nick said that's
what's it called? I forgot the name of the keys. Damn it.
You're on to it though. It's the square brackets. So
square brackets.
yeah, it's not, you guys know where the square brackets are, right? It's like right on my keyboard, it's right below the minus and the plus sign. I'm sure you guys know what they are. You use them in like algebra and stuff, right? I think they're called square brackets. So I'm going to make it smaller, make it nice and small so it fits over this little speck on his face. Okay, do you guys see anything else? I could see some here.
Does it have to be perfect?
I want it to be, okay, so let me show you what mine looks like. Oh, I gotta fix this. Do you guys think that this is a button? Yeah, I think that's a button. So I want it to be, get rid of the black smudges on the outside edges. Get rid of as much of this little speck, as these little specks you can. And the other thing that's pretty major is this crease that's here. Do you guys see this black fold that's here? Get rid of that. We got to do him justice in this picture. Okay, so let's take a look at what we've got. I feel like this is pretty good. If you can get it to this level or better. Yeah, for me, I want to get rid of this white stuff, the little white flecks too. So I'll just go over with my brush like this. So get it as, I mean, it's never going to be perfect, but you want to be able to look at the picture and not have anything stand out that looks like, oh, that looks weird. Does that make sense? The goal with this is to make it look believable. Okay. Okay, you guys, so I'm going to stop right now just to kind of wrap things up because I'm running out of time here. But also, I just want to show you the before and after. So let's save this file. Save as Abraham fixed. And I'm going to open the original so you guys can see it, how much of a difference we have. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you guys. So, one thing I see here that's bothering me is this like black, you guys see that little black smudge on it? Oh, I messed up there. Okay, so now what I would do is save my work, and you guys are going to submit this to me like this. So once you've repaired everything, you're going to submit it to me like this. And this is going to be the first step. So once we do this and you turn it into me, you can turn it into me by, what's the date today? Is it a Thursday? Thursday?
Yes, Thursday.
I guess by Monday. I might need to revise the deadline a little bit. I think by Monday would be okay. Maybe Tuesday, Wednesday. Well, I'll confirm and I'll let you guys know. And if it does take a little bit more time, you guys need more time. Do you think you're going to need more time till Wednesday?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll do for Wednesday, and then I'll do the next step. I need to adjust the deadline. And then for the second part, I'll just extend the deadline a little bit. Okay? All right, so let's go back to our slides. So these are just some more examples for you guys to see of what this will end up looking like once we add color. The color is really fun. Uh-oh, I'm getting the internet connection issue. So what you guys have to do is make sure when you're doing this that you understand the material, remember the tools. I'm posting the textbook as well, so you can read over the textbook or go along with the textbook too. It's very helpful. You have to damage or repair all scratches and damage and restore the natural color to the photograph. All of the edits that you make should be realistic, natural, and believable. So nothing that looks too blurry or weird or funky. You need to use a combination of the tools together to try to make that believable effect. And you can bring in your own photo, or you can use Abraham Lincoln. It's up to you. And these are the shortcuts for your reference, you guys. The shortcut for brackets, deselecting something. So you know when you use the lasso, it selects an area. If you want to unselect that area, Control D or Command D. Magic wand, clone stamp. I didn't go over the magic wand today. We don't really need it for this project, so don't worry about that. Okay? If you guys forget how to use the tools and you want a quick video on how to use either one of these, there's 2 videos in this lesson on the slideshow. You're going to be assessed on how much you've grown using the program, the strategies and tools that I've gone over, whether or not you are submitting your work on time and meeting all the criteria. So before we leave, you guys just want to unmute yourselves or write in the chat. How are you feeling about this project? And do you guys have any questions or concerns? I want to make sure I'm leaving you guys in a good...
I feel like this project is going to be like really good because it's something that we're learning that is new, and it seems like fun. And no, I don't have any questions.
Okay, great. Awesome. I hope you have fun with it. It's very satisfying, like fixing, you know?
It's going to be easy.
Said it's going to be really amazing. That's great. Akeem, we can chat after because I know you joined a little bit late. I recorded the lesson, so you can also watch the video. I'll send it to you. It's going to be easy. Good. That's great. So this is something, even though we're using like an old photo, this is something you guys can do. Like a perfect example of when I use these tools is like, so my husband proposed to me at Disney World, and I had like, when the photographer took pictures, I had like these people, like, you know how like these like ugly tourists in the background? This is a perfect example of where you can use these tools. Like you can, if you ever have a photo and
Just
you're like,
make them vanish.
Right, exactly. There's some ugly like thing in the background, or like there's a person in a weird outfit or something like that. You can Photoshop them out. So it's great. It's a great thing to have, a great skill to have. Just to give you guys like a real world version of it. All right, you guys. I hope you have a great day. That's everything that I have for you today. I'm going to post this on YouTube. And all right, you guys, have a great day.
You too, Miss
Bye.
Wood.
Bye. Thank you.
Uh,
Bye, guys.